So if you cry during arguments, during movies, when someone says something kind, or honestly, even moments that feel too small to explain, this actually says something pretty specific about the way your mind works. And once you understand it, you might never apologize for your tears the same way again. Hey, I'm Madison, and I used to be the girl who'd apologize before the first tear even fell. In arguments, my throat would tighten, my eyes would burn, and suddenly people stopped hearing my point because all they could see was me crying. And I hated that. So I tried to hide it, swallow it, laugh it off. But the more I forced myself to stay calm, the heavier everything felt. It wasn't until I realized my nervous system was reacting before my words could even catch up. That's when I stopped calling myself dramatic. I started actually understanding myself. Most people think crying means losing control. But what if crying is actually your body trying to regain control? Because tears, they're not just sadness leaking out. They're a signal, a release valve, a message from your nervous system basically saying, something inside me has reached its limit and it needs somewhere to go. And this is where people who cry easily get misunderstood. They're not always more dramatic. They're not always more fragile. Their emotional system just activates faster. Think of it like this. Some people move through life with this thick emotional filter. They hear a tense voice, they notice a sad scene, they feel an awkward moment, but their brain kind of dulls it all down. It gives them distance. But for people who cry easily, that filter is thinner. A small change in someone's tone doesn't stay small. A kind sentence doesn't feel casual. A memory doesn't stay in the past. It arrives in the body like it's happening right now. That's why you might tear up when someone thanks you sincerely. Not because you desperately need approval, but because sincerity cuts through the armor you didn't even realize you were wearing. And here's the first thing to understand. You often feel the emotion before you can even explain it. Your throat tightens before you have the sentence. Your chest gets heavy before you know what hurt. Your eyes burn before your mind has caught up. And yeah, that can feel embarrassing because everyone else seems calm while your body's already reacting. But your body isn't betraying you. It's just moving faster than your language. Now, the second reason goes a little deeper. People who cry easily often absorb emotional atmosphere. Like you walk into a room and somehow you just know something's off. No one said it yet. No one's explained it. But you feel the tension. And maybe this started early. Maybe you learned to read people's moods because it helped you stay safe or stay connected or avoid conflict. So now, even as an adult, your brain tracks these tiny signals automatically. A pause, a look, a shift in energy. And all of those signals, they add up. So when you finally cry, it's rarely about one tiny thing. It's the meeting where you stayed composed, the conversation where you swallowed your feelings, the stress you carried quietly, the kindness that finally made you feel safe enough to soften. That's why one small moment can undo you. It's not just the moment, it's everything behind it. And hey, if this is already making you see yourself differently, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We talk about the quiet patterns people feel every day but rarely know how to explain. Now let's talk about empathy. People who cry easily, they don't just notice emotion. They mirror it. Someone tells you a painful story and your body reacts as if part of it belongs to you. A movie character finally gets the love they needed, and your eyes fill up because something in you recognizes that relief. That's why you cry at goodness too, not just sadness. Goodness. A person forgiving someone, a stranger helping someone, a child being comforted, a moment of courage, a moment of tenderness. Most people think tears only mean pain. But sometimes tears just mean your nervous system has recognized something beautiful. That's why crying can happen during relief, or gratitude, or connection, or even happiness. Your tears aren't saying, I'm broken. They're saying, this matters. But there's a shadow side to all of this. When you cry easily, you might start guarding your tears like secrets. You look away, you make jokes. You say, sorry, I don't even know why I'm crying, even when there's a very real reason. And over time, the shame can become heavier than the tears themselves. That shame, it's usually learned. Maybe someone called you too sensitive. Maybe people got uncomfortable when you cried. Maybe you were praised for holding it together and judged when you fell apart. So you learned to treat your emotional honesty like a problem. But crying isn't the problem. The problem is believing every tear needs an apology. Here's the deeper truth. Crying easily can actually be a sign that your nervous system is highly responsive. It takes in more, it reacts faster, and it releases pressure sooner. Now, that doesn't mean you should let emotions run your whole life. If crying never brings relief, or if you feel overwhelmed all the time, that might be a sign your system needs more support, more rest, more boundaries, or some help. But the tears themselves, they're not your enemy. They're information. They tell you what touches you, what overloads you, what you've been holding. What you need to stop pretending doesn't matter. So the next time your eyes sting during a conversation, or you cry at a scene everyone else just shrugs off, pause before you judge yourself. Maybe you're not too emotional. Maybe you're emotionally awake in a world that teaches people to numb themselves. And that brings us back to the beginning. Crying easily doesn't mean you failed at being strong. It might just mean your body still trusts feeling enough to release it. Your tears aren't weakness. They're your nervous system speaking honestly. So subscribe for more videos that help you understand yourself and the people around you. And if you cry easily, share your experience in the comments, because someone else might read it and finally feel less alone.